With this being the 60th anniversary of the founding of the company by Mr. Sidney Pritchard in 1946, we needed a special event to put on for the August bank holiday weekend, and it was an obvious conclusion to draw that why not make it the Pico Diamond Jubilee celebration weekend. We had a selection of live steam miniature traction engines chuffing about the site. They created great interest. And we had the Team Valley Jazz Band on stage at our garden theatre. Children's entertainment over the weekend. We had cream teas on the terrace, piano music. It was a lovely weekend, and the weather was extremely kind to us.
Tangerine, now she is all they claim, with her eyes at night and lips as bright as flame. Tangerine, when she dances by, senorita stare and caballero sigh. And I've seen toast to tangerine raised in every bar in the Argentine.
Well, we had a variety of special events. The first ever Pico Model Rail Show. We had a lot of guest layouts that have been featured, especially in the Railway and Continental Modelers, Railways of the Month.
Yes, it's a Great Western town terminus set in the late 1930s, built by a chap called Dennis Higgins and featured in the January Railway Modeler of this year. I bought it from him in April. I've added some personal touches of my own, and I'm in the process of building an extension to go on the other end, which will be a wharf with some ship models, which is my other interest. I'd sold my previous layout when I moved house and didn't have room for the big layout I had before, so that's now in the care of a club in Minehead. And I missed having something to play with while I built another one, so this was advertised. I'd admired it in the modeler, and when it was advertised I snapped it up and went and picked it up. And it's been sitting in my garage ever since. It gives me the chance to play trains again. Yeah, it's worked very well indeed. It's Pico track, Pico point motors, so it's very reliable. It transports well. Any mistakes have been mine, not the fault of the layout.
Albion Quarry evolved in my mind from a desire to mix two hobbies. Apart from a lifelong interest in model railways, a more recent interest, probably more recent, 15 years, has been geology. It comes of perhaps living in a house which is built of stone. How did the masons make it? And then finding out more about the Portland work. Portland stone, the best stone in the world for building construction, and finding and making a model in bringing that and the model railway together. Initially thought Portland stone is only found in Dorset, but it isn't. Through my contacts in the British Geological Survey, I was able to find out where the most northerly outcrop of Portland was, which happily was suited me, being as it's close to Bletchley and with a heavy interest in LMS and LNWR. It was easy to create a tale of perhaps a branch line from the Bletchley-Oxford LNWR line down past the quarry, perhaps going to Aylesbury, but now only left to service the quarry. The period has been set just after the Second War. There's now a high demand for stone because of the rebuilding after the Blitz, so it's working hard, and hopefully it emulates what perhaps may have happened in that area if the stone had been quarried. I have a friend on Purbeck who has a still has a working quarry there, and it goes back many generations, and in spite of modern equipment, lingering in odd corners, there's still some old stuff which suited my period, so I was able to copy that into the model. The crane on the layout, in fact there are a lot of cranes, some are made up from pictures I've seen of something similar, the travelling cranes, but the Scotch derrick that's in the quarry is copied again from a British Geological Society photograph of a typical crane in Portland. The quarry railway is operated in fairly simple means. Full wagons come from an off-scene quarry, and then the locomotive runs around and takes the full wagons into the works, where, hidden from public view, they are removed and replaced with empty wagons, which are then returned to the off-scene quarry. The branch to the quarry is operated as a pick-up goods setup, whereby a train will arrive, wagons for stone are shunted within the works, and then the train is rearranged to get the locomotive and the guards van at their respective ends, and it leaves.
Brindavana layout was built by Angus Watkins in the late 90s. It's a model of the Welsh Highland Railway as it ran in the 1920s and 1930s. The station itself didn't exist, but the Brindavana Bridge over the Glaslyn River is still there. It was taken down in the 1990s because it was unsafe, but has been rebuilt recently as part of the restoration of the Welsh Highland Railway. So the layout assumes that a small station was built in between the Glaslyn Bridge and the road bridge, which is what the model represents, and then the line curves away into the Aberglaslyn tunnels further down. There's a common thread of interest between Angus and myself in the line, and he originally built it and operated it for a number of years, and then recently has moved on to other projects on the Festiniog Railway. We're going to run it on joint stock for the foreseeable future, and then in the oncoming years I shall take it on and run it with my own stock, and hopefully in a slightly enhanced form.